Okay, ladies, so I had a request to talk a little bit about high heels, wearing high heels, and when you do, how to recover from those. So first what I really want to talk about is kind of what is our ideal standing position with a flat foot. So we'll always say that that is going to be toes pointed straight forward, rib cage down, abs flexed about 30 to 40%, and then your butt turned on at about 30 to 40%. Now, I couldn't find any size 10 high heels to kind of see how they affect my ideal standing position, but I went ahead and made a prototype Nano 5.0 with a 3-inch heel on it. After doing some reading, that's going to be about your average height of heels. So, first thing that I noticed is that when I try to, standing on these, when I try to achieve that ideal position of my rib cage put down and my butt turned on, so I'm using my abdominals to stay upright. When I do that, what I feel, I really do feel like I'm falling forward. So how do I adapt that position? So what I'm doing to adapt that position now is I'm shooting my butt out, I'm poking my rib cage up, and now this I feel centered in this position. So you can see my lumbar spine is kind of grossly arched right here, and I really am having a hard time accessing my abdominals to stay upright. So that's kind of the position that I'm struggling with. Additionally, the arches of my feet, right now I've been standing in these for about 10 minutes now, the arches of my feet feel very tired from being in that kind of overextended position, pointing my toes. I'm really having to dig my big toes into the ground. They're not really getting a lot of rest. So sort of my plantar fascia right now feels very exhausted, and my lower back is starting to feel very impinged. I'm feeling some pain from those vertebrae being up against each other, trying to find a balance. So, I'm not going to tell anybody to not wear high heels, but understand that it is not an ideal position for you to be in. Recovering from that position. Main thing is to always know what your ideal position is. So we need to begin to use our abdominals to stand upright, toes pointed straight forward. You're always going to feel like that default position is going to be into overextension and turning your abdominals off when standing. So when you're back to being flat-footed, what you need to do is always reinforce that rib cage down, belly tight, butt tight, toes pointed straight forward position. If you're trying to find tension, don't do so by kicking a foot out and kind of hanging there, looking for that tension. Begin to use your abdominals to hold you upright, what they're intended to do. A couple mobility exercises to help you recover from those if you absolutely must wear those high heels. Lacrosse ball, I want this to go into the arches of your feet, roll around on there. You can stand on there to get as much pressure as possible. Additionally, you can put that lacrosse ball in the ball of your foot and work your toes around it as a way to kind of unglue those toes from being pressed in there. Additionally, from being in this overextended position, your hips are going to get really, really short in here. So I'm always kind of hunched over in this overextended position. So what you need to do is you need to open those back up. Quick way to do that is going to be a couch stretch. Now, since you're used to being in that overextended position, you're going to find that space in your lumbar spine by arching back. So getting into that position, I want you to get really tight while you're hunched over, squeeze your butt, and then press back. You'll find it a little harder to get into that position, but you'll be sure to isolate those short, tight hips and your quads, which are going to be turned off again in that position. So, I'm not telling you to not wear high heels, but if you do so, understand that you need to recover from it.